Welcome to the Sports Card Lessons Podcast. I'm your host, Big Ken. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on a streaming service, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I drop any new content. Welcome and thanks for being here. Wow, a really exciting episode today. I'm going to talk about an unbelievable day in the hobby for me that included me acquiring a top 3 card for my PC. But first, I'm going to start with a local trip um, to a card show this Saturday with Rob at Sports Card Therapist. We talked about it on Thursday's episode. In fact, we put that plan together on Thursday's episode. I hadn't even talked to him before that episode, but mentioned that there was a show in Connecticut in Stratford, and we made the plan on air live on YouTube, and we did attend on Saturday. Um, I went to the show with cash and my Zion case. I have some boxes here in the office that resemble different things, and one of them is a box of players that have hit rock bottom. So, cards that I was high on, or I graded or I purchased, and then they hit rock bottom. Guys like Deshaun Watson, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson. Um, so every now and then when I'm getting ready to go to shows, I go through these boxes, and I decided, I think Zach Wilson's been playing okay lately. So I grabbed a few of his cards, and I threw it in the box. I'm heading south towards New York. Maybe there's some Jets fans down there that would want these Zach Wilson cards. So threw him in the Zion case, headed down, uh, got there like 12:30, is meeting Rob there at 12:30. It's a small show. It's at a church. There's some tables inside, and there's a handful of tables outside. I saw my guy Bill on IG at Bill OIV. He was there with his son. I see them at a lot of the shows. Usually stop and chat with them. He was set up outside, probably the best setup at the show, and I probably said this 3 different ways while I was waiting for Rob to show up, while I was chatting with him. But you have to picture it's sunny, it's 80 degrees, it's like it's a couple days before Halloween. It's the end of October. It's 80 degrees outside. There's a breeze, some leaves are falling off the trees. And he's set up under a tree in the shade. So while I was talking to him, I flipped my Zion case up, put it on the ground, and I sat on it. And he says, "Are you going in?" Well, I said, "I'm waiting for Rob." I said, "But just sitting here, this moment in time right out here it was one of those moments in time that I probably won't forget. One of those hobby things I probably won't forget, but it was just really kind of cool to be there at that time." Uh, Headed inside, I do this so much now. I know 90% of the dealers, and if I don't know a dealer, I'm usually just start talking to them and get to know them. So I know most of the dealers. So it was a lot of you want to shop, but it was a lot of talking too. And as far as shopping, personally, I feel, if I'm buying a card to flip at an upcoming show, right now, the way the hobby is, the state of the hobby, the prices have to be good. I don't want to rent a card. I don't want to take a card from here at $100 and go put it in my case and sell it for $100, because it's, why bother? Why bother doing that? So, I need to make it worth my while. So the deals have to be good. For me, the deals have to be good. While I was there, I sold 2 cards to a dealer. I sold, lo and behold, one Zach Wilson card and Lamar Jackson. It was an XRC PSA 9. I sold those 2 cards. Now, these are cards that just had been in my case since last year, like literally since last football season. They've been in my case. Went through the spring, went to the national. You know what? The Zach Wilson, I never even brought. It's been sitting in my rock bottom box, so I never even brought any Zach Wilson out there. But that was the first time I had taken any of the Zach out. So I was able to make that deal. I sold a couple cards to him, and I was surprised to get comps based on last sales. You know, when people you're at a show and people start pulling stuff out, and they're like, "Hey, what do you need? You know, what are you getting for this? What are you getting for that?" And you know, I'd already looked before I left in the morning. I kind of went through most cards and I looked to see what the prices, what the last sales were, and of course, that's what I'm hoping to get, whatever the last sales were on those. And yeah, I when I sold those 2 cards, I was surprised I got comps based on the last sales. I was happy to sell them. If I was set up at a show, I probably would have ended up taking less for those. Probably would have gotten offered less for those cards. So I was excited about that. Uh, I saw my guy Big Chuck there. He's on IG at CMB Cards. Um, he had this, and I'm going to hold it up. It's a 2003, 2004 Bowman LeBron James BGS 95 mint. I'm just going to hold that up. Nice card. I saw it in his case. I said, Chuck, what do we need to do to get me this card? You know, and Chuck's always, you know, he's a good guy. He's always very fair, and he's always looking to do, you know, take some cards with cash. I mean, of course, we'd all take cash, but he's always, you know, looking to do that. So we went through my case. He pulled out a Trinity Rodman, the 2023 Onyx, the Auto PSA 9, and again, another Zach Wilson card that came out of my rock bottom box. It was an XRC BGS 95 and some cash. And we made a deal for the LeBron. And you know, honestly, going to my next show, I'm going to be happy to have that LeBron card in my case, especially during basketball season. Um, so that was the show. You know, a short show, short trip, great deals done. Uh, got there at 12:30, was out by 2. And you know, like a sports card therapist says, participation is required. I mean, these deals wouldn't happen if I was sitting home and I was looking online. These deals happen because I got out and I went to a show on a day that I probably could have been doing any other 100 things here in the Northeast. In late October, it's 80 and sunny and warm, right? So participation is required. That's why I continue to go to these shows. You know, sometimes I make 0 deals, and you know, that's okay. That's okay to go to a show and not make a deal because I'm still getting out in the hobby. I'm still talking to people. I have friends out there. I'm still planning on other things, and there's always talk. What's the next show? What show are you doing? They listen to the podcast? I heard your guest on. You know, great episode. Just whatever we're talking about. It's just a great time to be out with friends. Um, Now on to one of the greatest days in the hobby. Not the greatest day, because there's always going to be greater days, and I've had some great days in the hobby, but this by far was a great day in the hobby. Um, you know, the day started like any other weekday, right? Most books start that way, right? Any other weekday. You know, computer jobs. I'm going off to my first customer, and I've known this guy for a couple of years. I've been to his house a couple of times to work on his computers. I've talked to him because I work remotely because he has houses. You know, he has a house in Florida, a house in Mexico. He has a house here in Connecticut. Um, so I never really got to know him, but we've become friends, you know, just, you know, through me doing the business and, you know, we hit it off well. So when I was there doing the work, we're, you know, on his computer, we're just talking away and, you know, it came up that, you know, I started saying that I'm in the hobby, you know, I do stuff with sports cards. And he says, "Oh, really?" He says, "Do you do anything with hockey cards?" I'm like, "Of course I do." He said, "Look, come downstairs. I have to show you something." Um, and at that point, you never know what you're going to get because this has happened to me a number of times. Like some people out, you know, they go and it's all mostly junk wax stuff that I always see, you know. And we chat a bit about it, but it's fun. It's people who are in the hobby and you know, have not been in the hobby for years, but as a kid saved these cards and in their mind, and I know I did the same thing. I had cards that I thought were worth a fortune, and then come to find out they weren't worth anything. But And I hate to break that news to people sometimes, but a quick search on eBay and I could show them. But anyways, he took me downstairs. He's got like 5 or 6 huge boxes of cards, and the one, most of these cards, like there was a lot of like sets of cards, but he had them all separated, like anything that was a rookie, they were penny sleeved and top loaded, and he was pretty meticulous about how he saved the cards. A lot of them were in screw down slab things. You know what I'm talking about. Um, and he said, "Look, I've got all these hockey cards. I don't even know." He goes, "They're probably junk, but they may be worth something. If you've got room in your car, if you're interested, I'll load these all up in your car. You see what they're worth." He says, "I trust you, right? See what they're worth. If they're worth anything and you could sell them, give me a piece. If it's garbage, tell me it's garbage and throw them out." He says, "I'm going to be moving. I'm getting rid of this house here. And this is one less thing I'll have to worry about. But I'd appreciate, letting me know if there was anything of any value in there." Now, I took all this stuff home. I just started to go through. There was some boxes of BGS slabs. I mean, he had these things graded, and he never even took them out of. They were still sealed in the boxes from BGS. I took some out. A lot of lower end slabs, third and fourth year Gretzky's, things like that. But there's some cards there from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, just stuff that I really have to take some time to go through. But it's going to be fun. I like doing that stuff. I like pulling, if I can do it in the comfort of my own home and start pulling this stuff out. When I go to a show, I really don't like to dig through boxes, but recently I have been. Especially I have to dig when I'm looking for like women's soccer or WNBA stuff. But comfort of your own home, I have a lot of fun, going through that. And I've started going through a little bit, like I said, no Gretzky rookies. I know that's what you're all thinking. That's what I'm hoping I'm going to pull a Gretzky rookie out of there. I've only been through like 1 or 2 of the boxes already. But there's definitely some value there. So it's going to be fun to go through. So after I left, I got all loaded up and I left this house. I was on to my next job and I just showed up, and a messenger dings on my phone, and I looked down and it was a message from a girl that I'd messaged with like 6-8 months ago. And through other people, I knew that she had a Trinity Rodman purple auto. Those are to 50. They're not numbered, but there was only 50 of them. They'll say there was only 50 of them. It's the Parkside. It was the same card I talked about looking for when I was going to the National last year, where I ended up finding the blue one, which is to 250. So I didn't find that purple one, but I said, I'll keep hunting, right? So I knew she had it. I messaged with her a couple times. She said, "No, I'm going to hold it." I said, "Promise me if you decide to sell it, you'll reach out to me first. I really want the card." So she messaged me. She says she's ready to move the card. She gave me her PC list. She was hoping to do some trading first, either all trade or trade plus cash. So of course I came back to the office that afternoon, and I had a ton of, who she PC'd, but none of all the cards that I had were cards she already had and wasn't interested in those. So it ended up being a cash deal. I ended up just buying the card from her. We made the deal and the card has now arrived. It is in my possession, and I will hold that up. If you're on YouTube, you can see the purple and the blue look very similar. So excited to have that card. I did not think I would be able to acquire that card reasonably, because they're even though it says there's 50 of these cards out there. Most people think there's maybe 30 or 25 or even less than that really to be had out there. That people really even, like they know what they have. And it's possible because there's still those boxes for sale that some of them haven't even been pulled yet. There may be more. Now, I've been buying those boxes. Whenever I see them, I'll buy them and hope for the best. Because there's again, there's 3, which I say there's 3 of Trinity's top cards. This being one of them, and if there's still boxes to be had, you could literally still pull 2 of the 3. So there would be this card, the purple auto, and there's also the 2021 series, the Parkside Series 1. There's a variation card in there that is very, very short print. And then there is the absolute holy grail, is the 2021 Rookie of the Year auto, and it was a redemption. And only, if I remember, I think only 20 or 21 of those were actually redeemed. So those are even harder to come by. So those will be, the cards that I'll be looking for, that I'll set my sights on now to acquire, to complete the trifecta of the top, where they say that you get the top 1%. If you're going to collect somebody, if you're going to PC somebody, have the top 1% of the cards, right? So that's where I'm trying to get to. And that day did not end there. It didn't end there. But wait, there's more. That night, while I'm home, sifting through a few of these cards that came in the hockey box, being actually getting vouchers, right? Even though I knew the girl and I talked with her, I had to, we had to figure out that we were both legit. So we're both, getting vouchers for each other, so we can, get this deal done. And then we get a phone call from a family friend, someone that has season tickets, to the Patriots, that in the past, my stepdaughter and I have used to go see, because she's a Patriot fan. I'm a Chiefs fan. We've gone to see the Chiefs Patriots games before. So I get a phone call saying, "Hey, do you want the tickets for the Patriots Chiefs game in December? It's a Monday night game." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to play the lottery right now, because a Powerball win would be the only thing that could top this day right now." So now I have tickets to go to the Monday night game in December up at Foxborough. So really excited. I'm really excited to be able to do that. But you know what? What a day. Just one day, one single day, what a day. And it started like any other day, and you never know where a day can go. And this day for me just kept on going up. It's going to be hard to top it, but I'm definitely going to keep trying. That's it. That's all I have for you. Doing this Sunday. I wanted to get this episode in. Kickoff is about 10 minutes away for our Sunday football. So I know my Sunday episodes have been, normally coming late Sunday, but now I've been trying to get them done. It's just so I can relax now. I've got this all done. I've got this out of the way. I can go sit and watch football and eat some good food, have some drinks, and just enjoy the day. So I'll be back Thursday with a brand new episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And if you like what you hear, please definitely subscribe. And most importantly, tell a friend and spread the word. And until next time, take care of yourselves and everyone around you.